Hello and welcome to The Trade. Before we get into the technicals, a quick look at what traders are watching. And in the latest economic data, Eurozone industrial production in December fell 1.4%. That was slightly better than forecast. Meanwhile, the latest Bank of America Fund Manager survey showed positioning in the US dollar was the most negative in the survey's 14-year history. The US dollar index is down around 15% from its peak in 2022, with consensus expectations of further weakness in the year ahead. The US dollar index, though, up 0.2% on the day. We are seeing the Aussie dollar trading at 70.7 US cents. The US Treasury physical market was closed overnight due to the President's Day holiday, but futures traded, implying the 10-year yield fell by 1 basis point to 4.03%. Australian 3-year government bond yields fell to 4.26% and the 10-year yield around 4.73%. Well, how do you turn passion into patience? It seems we can learn from the best tennis players in the world and how they navigate their mindset challenges. Mandy Rafsanjani from tradingpsychology.com.au joining me now. I guess, Mandy, what did we learn from the best at the recent Aussie Open?
Yeah, that was amazing, that game between Djokovic and Sinner in the semifinals, just mind-blowing. And Jim Courier actually asked Djokovic, with all the experience that you have from your career and the wisdom that you accumulated, what one advice would you give the young Novak just starting out? And it was very surprising to me when Djokovic bursted out saying, "Calm down, jerk." That was really not what I expected. Mm-hmm. And what he was saying was that there was so many moments where urgency topped patience, and he made so many unforced errors. And he could have been successful much earlier if he just had been patient.
So, Mandy, how do we relate this to trading and investing?
Yeah, patience is such a big topic in trading and investing as well. And I see that especially with, of course, the younger traders. And what happens is that we are all passionate about trading. I mean, that's why we are trading and working so hard on becoming successful. And especially the younger traders who get swept away by these tweets or posts nowadays on Instagram and Twitter and X. Traders making $100,000 plus a week. They want to be part of this elite group as well. And so they're very passionate and very focused to join this group of traders very, very quickly. And their passion turns into impatience because they are not taking the time to really focus on their risk management. And what I see very often is they have a very great string of profits, and then they feel they're invincible. They get superhero mindset, and they start doubling up. In this case, the trader we just saw, he increased his position size by 5 times. So they start becoming reckless.
All right, so yeah, let's drill down into that graphic we saw and how this really relates to a real life example.
That was heartbreaking. I tell you, this guy is a young guy, 25 years old, very successful already. And he was $3,000 from reaching his first goal of hitting the $100,000 profit milestone. And for whatever reason, it was not his strategy at all. So he has a strategy that is clearly defined with clearly defined entries and exits. But when the Dow hit 50,000, he was convinced it's going to hit the 50,000 and then just collapse. And he went in with 5 times the position size that he usually gets in. And he said to himself, I now can make the last $3,000 profits in a very short period of time. And that's how he justified getting into this trade. But of course, the Dow had other ideas. And as we know, if we don't stay humble, the market starts humbling us, the famous calm down jerk moments, as I like to call them now. And so the Dow pushed up another 500 points, and he was in a big loss because he was so messed up and stressed that he didn't get out of his position. He just really mismanaged it. And of course, 2 days later, the big drop came, but without him. So we see that a lot happening with the younger traders especially.
Yeah, well, everyone's learning, I guess. But how do you fix that? I mean, you always learn from mistakes, right?
Yes, that's the idea, that we don't repeat it again. But, on the other hand, we are human. And it was really refreshing to see that Djokovic shared that he is still battling with his calm down jerk moments and that he's too eager to succeed. Now, what was really interesting is Djokovic was known to be very emotional and having emotional outbursts at the beginning of his career, like Federer as well. And he started a holistic approach. He changed his diet. He started meditating. And what he did is he practiced really taking charge of his mind. So a strong mindset and patience is a learned skill. It's not something that we are born with. It's not a personality trait, but it's something that we need to practice. The emotional, mental skills is what he really developed to help him stay grounded. He did a lot of mental rehearsal. And so what I like to do with, or what I did with this trader is I started looking at the statistics with him and, numbers that don't lie. And we can lie to ourselves, but when we see black on white, how we made those mistakes, that's like, I have a friend who is a diabetic and he loves food. And it's kind of sad for him, but he needs to really be careful what he eats. And he has this phone and this tag that shows him how his body reacts to food. And every time he has something that is too sweet, the alarm goes off on his phone and he's like, I can't eat this, I have to stop. And so the keeping statistics and also having a little bot on your strategy, that an alert that comes up on your screen saying, hey, you're about to oversize, super, super helpful. So this helps training new healthy habits, not just in trading, but also in eating, like everywhere in life, right? When you have this kind of help. And then we looked into what is his mindset behind this behavior. And what was really interesting, so this trader, his father passed away several years ago, very young, and he wanted to make his father proud. This was one of the driving forces why he was so determined to succeed so quickly. And then he wasn't aware of it. It was an unconscious behavior pattern. But once he was aware of it, he could then retrain himself and say, I make my father proud when I stick to my trading strategy. And of course, a mantra. Ash Barty is a big fan of mantras. I'm a big fan of mantras. And the mantra that he chose for himself was slow is smooth and smooth is fast, which of course is the mantra of the Navy SEALs, which are the best in the world, and what he wanted to be as well.
I just always remember slow and steady wins the race, Mandy. Mandy, thank you so much. Maybe not in tennis. Mandy Rafsanjani from tradingpsychology.com.au. That does it for this edition of The Trade. Be sure to join us next time.